Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and XRP's day will come. So says Moon Lambo. That's certainly my speculation. Because you know what? Market cycles are a thing. And you know what else? XRP has real utility and is functionally being used in the world today. And my investment thesis happens to be that utility matters and will win the day. So I've got a couple articles that I want to share with you. And of course, Bitcoin, I know, still leading the market. I don't know if that's going to be the case forever. But even if it is, I still think that XRP, along with other cryptocurrencies, will ultimately decouple. I just don't know how long it's going to take. And people will at some point sufficiently parse out the differences between individual cryptocurrencies. It's just not happening to a meaningful enough level, in my opinion, today. But here's a headline from Daily Hodl. Bitcoin will morph from rocket ship to cruise liner, says macro investment guru Rao Paul. But I do want to mention, of course, because we're going to be talking a little bit about price in this video. I am not a financial advisor. I do not have a financial background of any kind. So do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm never going to offer financial advice, period. I make videos because it's a fun hobby, and I'm an enthusiast within the XRP community, and I really don't have anybody in my real life to talk to about this stuff on a regular basis, friends or family. Nobody is interested enough. And so thankfully, I've got you guys out there that are probably about as interested as I am, and so we track this stuff regularly. Most of you do listening, I'm sure. And so thankfully, there are people on the planet that I can engage with, you know, whether it's, well, certainly through here in the comment section on YouTube, but also Twitter and all that jazz. So I am thankful for that. But that is all that this is. Now, before we go any further, if you would please delicately tap the like button. And also, if you're a fan of Ripple and XRP, well, gosh darn it, I think you might be the coolest person on the whole planet. Go ahead and subscribe, since I just gave you a really nice compliment. Return the favor. Here's a tweet from fellow XRP YouTuber Kevin Cage, and I liked this. I like this very much, because there are people out there, and you've seen them too on the Twitters, that, oh man, XRP, it's just not moving. I am out. I am selling. XRP did not move on the timeline that I want for myself. I am out, right? You guys have certainly seen this if you're in, if you're on Twitter, there's no way to avoid it if you're in the XRP community, right? And it's not just, it doesn't only happen in the XRP community. There's all sorts of crypto communities where people are just going to get impatient, and it has nothing to do with the real world potential of the cryptocurrency. It's just like, I wanted it to move by now, and then people just sell, which I always think is silly. Now, do what you want to do. If you want to get out of XRP, if you own some, of course do that. You know, do whatever you want to do, whatever feels right for you. I'm just going to share that in my humble opinion, that's a silly reason to get out. That's just my humble opinion. But here you go, from Kevin Cage. Price won't move up because it would have already done so by now, says a complete idiot. I just completely love it. It's like, yes, it's completely nailing it. Oh my God, some people just don't freaking get it. And then you're at, they don't see what's being built right in front of their eyes. Not everyone is meant to see it. Not everyone is meant to catch this wave. I will. Will you? Well, yes, I will indeed. And I've said this before. I think that some people just don't get the big picture. They're not visionary enough. And because it hasn't happened, they can't see that it makes sense. You know, there's all sorts of stuff, all sorts of technologies they're taking advantage of today that if they were there for the advent of those products, that technology, they would have said, nah, I don't know. I don't think it can work. It's not in the world. That's that sentiment. And I'm just like, no, be a bit more visionary, because there is a solution for the train wreck of global cross-border payments, and it requires the utilization of a sufficiently advanced decentralized cryptocurrency with an open market price. And XRP is that solution, because there is no other cryptocurrency fit in that bill that's being positioned for that use case. And if one eventually does one day, super duper, maybe I'll invest in that too. I need to see the specifics. But right now, there's only one on the whole planet out of over 7,000 cryptocurrencies. Some people might say that kind of matters. And so for those of you that are around, and once you have ultimately your XRP riches, I'm going to share with you another thing that you can blow your money on. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to buy like a whole freaking pack of these things. From RT.com. Shoot on sight. Boston Dynamics robot dog spotted out on city streets, triggers fear and defensiveness. So here's a picture of this awesome, really cool robot dog, although I think they need to give it a head. That would be better. It's got, I guess this is its face where I'm circling right here, but it needs to have a neck, I think, because that would be, you know, more lifelike. But this thing's freaking cool as hell. And so they write, a video of a Boston Dynamics spot robot dog apparently wandering a city street on its own has struck terror into the hearts of social media users, though some defended the bot, pointing out humans can hurt each other without help. And so right here, I think this is the clip. I'll let it play silently here. So yeah, so this is it. And there's some people in a vehicle and they're commenting as this is going through here. This is it in motion. If I saw that, I would be like, I just think that's the coolest thing on the freaking planet. Now, they cost about $75,000. So like I say, once XRP has its next parabolic rally, if it tickles your fancy, right here, I'm just saying, you can have yourself your own little robot dog. I'm going to buy a whole pack of them. It's going to be great. Maybe we'll have them compete against each other in all sorts of activities like races. That would be fun here. And it is funny that people are actually scared by this. They actually are, and I love this too. There's this tweet from Big Daddy. This is why I'm going to buy one of these things. But this guy wrote, "It'll never not amaze me how every time one of these Boston Dynamics videos get posted, people lose their S word, and it's never anything specific. It's you didn't see Black Mirror, you didn't see Terminator, you didn't see Matrix." Yes, let's not further technology because of a movie, which is exactly my sentiment. No, I'm going to buy one of these damn things. Let's blow money. Into this piece now, though. Bitcoin will morph from rocket ship to cruise liner, says macro investment guru Raoul Pal. Oh, by the way, before I go any further, before I cover this, drop in the comments section below what you're going to blow your money on. Like, what is the most ridiculous thing that you'd be willing to blow your money on? Like, I'm going to blow it all on hats. Oh, okay, wow. Are they going to be frilly, or are they going to be ball caps, trucker hats? What are you talking about here? Real Vision CEO and former Goldman Sachs manager Raoul Pal is explaining why he shifted more than half of his portfolio to Bitcoin. In a new interview with the Breakdown podcast host Nathaniel Whitmore, Pal says he believes Bitcoin is now the top reserve asset on Earth despite its high levels of volatility. And so even if he's right, even if Bitcoin continues to lead the pack, let's say in perpetuity, let's just say forever. Let's say that Bitcoin's always number one in market cap. I can make peace with that as long as XRP continues to move up too, because like I say, right now anyway, there's pretty clear evidence that XRP is just following the price action of Bitcoin. And like I keep saying also, and this is important, I'm going to keep driving this point home, there's so little money in XRP, the markets are so illiquid that it does not take much to get a doubling, tripling, quadrupling, so on and so forth of the price of XRP. But here's a quote from Raoul. I'm now just firmly of the opinion that Bitcoin is the world's greatest reserve asset. Yes, we have too much volatility for that right now, but I can't fault it. It doesn't work for a whole bunch of stuff, or it could do, but it's probably not good enough, and maybe that's not its role. But as the foundation stone for everything, it's got a bloody good chance. I don't see anything that's going to come on the horizon or that exists already that has a chance. And I hope that Bitcoin continues to find real-world adoption, even if it's just a store of value. I really genuinely mean that. As much as I tease Bitcoin about being archaic and how it should be in a museum, it probably should be. Just dust it from time to time. It's cool. I would prefer that it does well, because I think that means that XRP is going to do better. I really do. And so would Ethereum, and pick your other top 10 coins. Maybe there'll be some other coins out there that aren't going to have so much staying power, but that to me this is totally okay and expected. And if utility really does end up mattering supremely, there's certainly a chance that XRP could supplant Bitcoin, because it'll get used for more stuff. Because I always say, like, even if Bitcoin is actually going to have staying power purely because it was the first, even if you're new to the cryptocurrency space, let's say it's years from now, and it's even more obvious that the asset class isn't going anywhere. Maybe there's 1 or 2 cycles out from where we are right now in market cycles. Well, if you're jumping into the space, would you want to invest in Bitcoin purely as a store of value, or XRP because it's using stuff and because it's a store of value, right? And so to me, it would just become more obvious. And then on top of that, if Bitcoin is still greater in terms of market cap, there would be plenty of people out there that understand that less liquid markets, where there's less money in them, like XRP, will offer a greater return. So there's always going to be people that's like me that see that, and more smart money will ultimately flow. And that's certainly the way that I suspect this is going to play out, in part at least. But the piece continues. As far as store of value goes, store of value assets go, Paul says a conversation with MicroStrategy chief executive Michael Saylor opened his eyes as to why Bitcoin is superior to gold. And here's a quote. If you look at the supply of gold, it's 2% a year. So they're devaluing gold by 2% a year because the demand is not offsetting the supply. And if you compound that, it's basically the rate of inflation. So if you compound that, you're actually losing purchasing power. I looked at everything versus the top 4 central bank balance sheets in terms of rates of change of growth. Gold did well. It underperformed by 50% the balance sheet. The only asset in the world that actually outperformed the G4 balance sheet is Bitcoin. It's the only one. How about that? Now, obviously, there have been other cryptocurrencies that in recent years have outperformed Bitcoin. In fact, if you look at over the last several years, XRP, if that's the time frame that you would arbitrarily choose, which for the sake of this I am, XRP has outperformed Bitcoin. So worth considering as well. But Powell says he believes Bitcoin is in the early stages of a fresh bull run, and ultimately, he thinks the price of Bitcoin could reach $1 million. He says Bitcoin's volatility will eventually fade as its market cap grows and institutions find legally compliant ways to enter the space. The volatility, yeah, that I'm firmly agree with him on. Now, as far as the potential future price action, I'm not ruling anything out, but I will say the more that governments around the world, including the good old United States where I live, as long as the central banks continue to debase fiat currencies, especially the United States dollar, because it is the global reserve, the more likely it is that you're going to see Bitcoin reach higher and higher prices, and thus the rest of the asset class as well, because today it follows Bitcoin. Because the purchasing power of each individual dollar, it will decrease, and so it will take more dollars to purchase Bitcoin or XRP or anything. And so as that happens, and you just print more and more trillions and trillions of dollars, it'll take more of those dollars, thanks to supply and demand, to purchase Bitcoin. So I'm just saying, because of that fundamental concept of inflation, something so simple, something as simple as inflation, that will help drive the prices of Bitcoin and XRP and other cryptocurrencies higher. That's certainly my suspicion. And here's another quote. Bitcoin was unique. It started as a groundswell. It came from individuals. Nothing else has come this way. And we now need to get in the institutions. The institutions will watch price, but unless it's an agreeable asset for them, i.e. they can store it, they can value it, they can put it in their accounts, they're not going to do anything. Yeah, and for some of them, it will mean custody from a third party that, it's seriously, like institutional grade, perhaps a PolySign. We'll see what the specifics of their platform are when they come out. That's what David Schwartz, Ripple CTO, co-creator of the XRP Ledger, is working on. But, as long as there's institutional grade custody, I think that's certainly going to help, especially if there's insurance on it in case something goes terribly wrong. I think these are all things that are going to help further adoption for the asset class, and that's why I keep saying I'd prefer for XRP to be number one in market cap, but even if not, all of this real-world adoption is still going to be good for it, and there will still be a place for XRP, I believe. And so, we're going to get our piece of the pie, effectively. That's the way I look at it. And here's the rest of the quote. But it's the actual market cap of the asset itself that will end up driving them, not the performance. Because don't forget, we've seen it with the hedge fund industry and everything else. The more these guys pile in over time, volatility dampens because there's much more larger buyers and sellers, and eventually the price structure of the whole industry changes, which is fine. Bitcoin will morph from being a rocket ship to a cruise liner, and it needs to happen, but not yet. We'd like to do that at a higher price, please. Yeah, I would like to too, and we don't have a choice anyway, because there's not enough market participants right now to even that out. It just isn't. That's why it's wildly volatile, but I firmly agree with the concept here, and there is evidence of it. The asset class, cryptocurrency asset class, continues to become less volatile, and you can see that it has happened with other assets in the past, not related to cryptocurrencies. So to me, it seems crystal clear. As long as cryptocurrencies are indeed here to stay forever, at least as long as the internet exists, that, to me, the concept is undeniable. It'll come to pass. I just don't know when. But it's fun to watch this stuff. Like, I feel very fortunate because, history is going to be written about, like the history books, like, they're going to be written about this. And here we are living through this. Can you imagine people 100 years from now talking about the advent of the cryptocurrency asset class? And we're fortunate enough to get to experience all this and have an opportunity to invest where we see fit if we choose to, and have the opportunity for such asymmetrical gains. There will be people 100 years from now be like, oh my gosh, there hasn't been a new asset class created in 100 years. And if I were there, the opportunity for asymmetrical gains, I would have been one of those people to invest. And maybe you would have been a future person that doesn't exist yet. But that's it for this video. I am not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo!